Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about something that's really important to me, and I think it should be important to you. If you are a non-for-profit business, then there's something which I feel that you are missing. I think most non-for-profit businesses are all about the fundraising, but not about any kind of marketing. So they know how to kind of get money from it from people who want to give, um, but they don't know how to make money with that money as much as maybe doing some small things like I've seen some non-for-profit businesses that take old furnitures and they sell it in their shop and things like that, but I haven't seen any kind of non-for-profit businesses that, for example, I've seen the non-for-profit businesses have massive Facebook pages, have massive Instagram pages, but none of them are making YouTube videos daily. Like, if you can show me a YouTube video daily channel from a non-for-profit, I'll be impressed. I don't see non-for-profit businesses, making Facebook ads. Like, I see, some really intense kind of these sort of non-for-profit businesses that are just so sales driven, and they're like on the streets, but I'm not really seeing any non-for-profit businesses using marketing, using social media to drive their cause. And I'm not seeing any non-for-profit business with um, any kind of um, I'm seeing a lot of news covers non-for-profit businesses, but most non-for-profit businesses aren't doing um, real marketing, real branding, they're not really taking their products and taking it to the next level. So I think for any non-for-profit business, they should start integrating a they shouldn't just be a non-for-profit business. Like, if you're a non-for-profit business these days, you've got to be an editorial. Like, you got to have editors, right? You got to be making content. Like, the business of non-for-profit is not just about giving a small thing to some um, humanitarian aid to some immigrant who just comes to the country, refugee kind of thing. Like, you've got to be more than that. You've got to be pushing out content. Like, what kind of non-for-profit business? Like, if you're just a non-for-profit business and you're not pushing out content, then you're not anything. Even if you're doing classes, right? I've seen some non-for-profit businesses, they do on the back end, they're doing free classes, and that's very good. But that stuff isn't going to be around forever. You have to pay that person again and again and again to do that class, and no one's recording it. So pretty much every single thing you do is just gone. It's not on today's radar. So you're not even really making an impression. You're not really doing anything with your non-for-profit. So what I want non-for-profits these days to do, I want them to be creating content. I want to see content coming out from non-for-profits daily. Instagram, Snapchat, Medium, YouTube, um, Facebook, everywhere. I want them to be putting out content daily, not just when tax time comes around and they're like, oh, you want to make a tax cut. I want them to have so much content that when tax time does come around, that they see all the content like, whoa, of course this is the best choice to do. And I want them to have ads. If you are getting so much money from these sponsorships and you're just giving it back to the people that work in your business, then you're doing something wrong. That means that, because I've seen most of the non-for-profit businesses financials, and do you know what I've seen? I've seen things like all the money is going back to the employees. Like, How is that happening? How is there no money to give to, the people in need? It's because you're hiring people for the wrong things. You're hiring people to, make a business. You're a business. You're not a non-for-profit. The way you want to be a non-for-profit means you literally have so much money coming in that the people you're hiring are making more money than they're taking. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like they're taking more than they're giving. So this is what I want. If you start these things, if you have someone doing that much content, I'm sure that person's going to be, making more money for that non-for-profit more than they're taking, no matter how much. Even if you're paying them 100,000 and they're doing ads, they're doing content, you can hire one person for that and it would completely change the game. Instead of hiring, 10 people for things that aren't important, hire just, two people, one person for ads, one person for content. Then, just why aren't people doing ads, right? Why aren't you testing to see if maybe an ads model will work better than your current model of offline, what you're doing? Yeah, you know what? You're not for profit. You're going to get more media attention. And do you know what? That's going to be very good. You're going to get a lot of SEO. But do you know what's better than SEO? Having advertising power. You have that power right now. You don't have to spend all your money. But I think what it really comes down to in non-for-profits is it's politics. You have a board, you have people you have to talk to who have to kind of do these things. But you know what, there's a person in marketing. How come that person in marketing isn't making this a necessity? So if you're a person in a non-for-profit and you're the marketing department and you're watching this, I want to tell you, these are things you have to do. You have to start advertising. You have to start making content. That means having daily blog. How come there's no one recording what's happening inside? Those people inside your non-for-profit really don't care about being filmed, I'm sure. And if someone does care, then, just make sure everyone knows and just don't record them. But I'm sure if you have just someone recording what you're doing during the day and just what you're kind of doing, it would be amazing. I think what's really happening these days is we've got to create more humanity in what's happening. Look at what's happening with all the businesses today. They're making themselves more human. They're recording themselves. This is what I want. I want you guys to, you guys have Twitter, you guys have all these things. You're complaining about everyone else who does these things, but you're not doing anything yourself. I feel like non-for-profits are the most political people. There's so much politics. I'll go to a non-for-profit and I'll see the party they support, and I'll be like, okay, you got this, but how come you're not treating yourself like a party? How come you don't constantly Twitter about what's happening? How many people bought things? Is it because you're scared to let people know that you're making money and you're just giving it back to yourself? Is that it? To be honest, there has to be a change if non-for-profits actually want to change, the situation. If, governments, banks, if everyone's, everyone's giving money to these non-for-profits and we have no idea what's happening, why aren't they making content? Why aren't they making videos? Why aren't they, making ads? Why aren't they doing this stuff? Then, this is what's happening. This is why no one trusts non-for-profits, because it doesn't seem like they're non-for-profits anymore. And it just seems like, yeah, okay, maybe eventually, they'll make a profit and they'll not really do much with that. And they'll keep it in their bank. Yeah, good for you. Well, that's your non-for-profit in the beginning. You weren't making money. Now you're making money. And, now you're paying yourselves better salaries, okay? But to be honest, why aren't you using that money to scale and make more money? Why do you have to, is there a limit of how much money you're allowed to make? Why isn't your goal to make more money and give that money to better situations, right? Is it because you think for some reason that if you make more money, you got to give it to someone else and you were the person that wanted to take? Well, I think maybe you should stop taking money and start learning how to make money on your own. That would be more important because at least you'll learn how you can help people. At least when you're making money yourself, you're learning how you can help people. And that's the most important thing, you know? And that's just it. This is my rant for non-for-profits that aren't doing the right things. They aren't being, content creators. They aren't making ads and they're not scaling. So what's the point? Are you just gonna keep on taking donations, or are you gonna learn how to run a business and give so much value, which is the reason why you created your nonprofit, or you're just gonna stay the same and be, another non-techie, olden days nonprofit? Like, we need to get to the future. It's now or never, This is my rant, and I think non-for-profits should take things seriously. And, if you're helping people, then really help people. So, that's my rant.